Hello and welcome to my channel. I am the Moorland Fairy Tarot, and today we are doing a video about the Holly King's Yule blessings, guidance for the solstice season. I'm going to have you pick from these three piles. 1, 2, 3. You can see pile 1 has a little teddy bear on it, and pile 2 has little jingly bells and rose hips, and pile 3 has a little pine cone and the little rose hips as well. I will give you a moment to maybe meditate and just center yourself, and when you're ready, you can pick from the three piles. And keep in mind you may feel drawn to multiple piles, in which case you can just listen to all the ones that you are drawn to. So without further ado, let's get into pile 1. Okay, pile 1. I get the feeling that a new connection is coming into your life. I'll talk first about these cards. This Queen of Vessels, salmon, it's related to a very kind, generous, creative, self-sacrificing type of person or character. And I'm getting the feeling that it's connected to this card, the King of Cups. And I'm getting a strong feeling that it's someone coming into your life. It's possible that they've already been in your life. I'm kind of getting past life vibes here too. From this Six of Vessels reunion, it speaks to reunion of past lives as well as current lives. But yeah, this Seven of Vessels mourning and Two of Stones challenge, it's kind of giving me a vibe that whether it's in your current life or in a past life, there may have been a squabble of some sort between you and this person. And I feel like there's a need to let it go, to mourn that loss, and to mourn that event, and ultimately let it go, and reunite with this person, and have that mutual forgiveness with the salmon, self-sacrifice, and just being a very generous type of person. I feel like that's an energy that you may need to embody as well. I feel like there may be a need to let this situation go and take a little bit of a risk. That's what's coming out with the advice cards. With the Nine of Stones tradition, it speaks to respecting ancient traditions and ancient wisdom, and potentially even incorporating that into your life. Maybe even getting in touch with your ancestors to some level. I guess because it speaks to ancestors and things that are past, that's also combining it with that card in the morning. There's something about it that's definitely giving me the feeling that this might be a karmic past lives type of situation. So it might not be something you have to forgive them for in your current life. So it might be a little bit more on a spiritual plane. And with this card, because this person, the shaman, is meditating, it kind of makes me think that could be useful. Going deep into meditation and trying to work through maybe this karmic energy and releasing some of the past hurts. But yeah, with the moon card, there definitely seems to be some level of unknown and confusion, even mystery, and maybe even a little bit of fear. And that probably connects really well with this. It might be because of this situation that happened, whether it was in a past life or a current life. There could be an unknown element here and a bit of fear about reconnecting with this person. With this card, the Scorpion is really standing out to me. It makes me think of Scorpio, of course, and that sign is kind of famously misunderstood and very deep. So it kind of makes me think that this person is just very misunderstood. And maybe this situation was just a misunderstanding that got out of hand, maybe. But with this card, the King of Cups, I feel like this person is a very generous, emotionally balanced person that has a very healthy inner relationship with themselves. I feel like they've probably healed any of their issues and have come to a really stable place emotionally. I feel like they're able to really give more of themselves because they've stepped into this King of Cups energy. And with the Three of Cups, that just indicates celebration, friendship. It makes me think of this reunion card. I feel like this connection will be really good and really joyous. I think it'll be a blessing if you're able to move past some of the hurts. But ultimately, I do want to always say that you have to trust your own intuition with these things. So if this doesn't resonate, or maybe the person on your mind does strike you as a person you really need to keep your distance with, disregard this. It might not be your reading. There might be other messages in it that will be helpful, maybe, but it might just not be your reading. Now, with that said, I'll get to these advice cards. The Troll Fae. Follow the secret signs, as treasures can be found where you least expect them. So yeah, I'm connecting it with this, the meditating and trying to get past this hurt, maybe, and taking risks with this connection. And this card also speaks to that, essentially. The Witch Hare. Cross the threshold, leap the hedge, go over the wall. So I think it's just imploring you to take some risk with this. I think it might pay off really well for you. And with this person, you might pay attention to a couple signs that are standing out to me. With this card, the King here is wearing a fish. Of course, we have the salmon popping up. So, Pisces and Scorpio might be relevant signs. This person might have one of those signs. So, that's something you might pay attention to as well. But yeah, this has been your reading, Pile 1. I hope you got something good out of it. I hope the advice has been relevant for you. And if you made it through this entire reading, you might give me the fish emoji. I think that would be good for your reading. Either that or maybe the hare emoji, the rabbit emoji. I would love to see that in the comment section down below. And if you have any topics that you would like me to cover with the tarot, I would be open to hearing about that, so you might leave that in the comment section down below too if something comes to your mind. But yeah, I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this reading. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye, Pile 1. Alright, Pile 2. Well, the first thing I have to point out is I think we've seen each other before. My last reading, I had an arrangement very similar to this, with the Three of Swords and Judgment, and this Journey card represents death in the traditional tarot. So, if you did watch that reading before, welcome back. The reading really hasn't changed very much at all for you, and if you have not watched that reading, this might be a sign for you to go ahead and watch it. It will likely be very relevant to you as well. Okay, let's start off with these cards down here. I'll start off with the Queen of Arrows, Swan. This card speaks to sorrow and loss, which definitely adds up. It also speaks to a need to change your surroundings, maybe change your flock, in this case of the swan, which definitely makes sense. It seems like a significant betrayal has happened here. So I think definitely there could be a need to change scenery and change friend groups perhaps. And that's what these advice cards are indicating as well. So we'll move on to the journey card. I think it connects perfectly with this. I feel like it could be representing that feeling of being picked bare, as you can see, that has happened in this case on the card. So there could be a feeling of being picked bare by scavengers, and certainly there could be a very significant feeling of loss. You can see that with the swan too, that it speaks of loss and sorrow. I'm thinking too, this is coming to my mind, that there might be a feeling of a lost identity here. I think I spoke about that in I think it was pile 2 for the last video as well that spoke on this. I could be misremembering, but there could be a loss of identity here, especially if this is a romantic relationship that ended in a heartbreaking way. Because certainly sometimes we can wrap our identity up with the people that we are romantically involved with. So this could be an indication of a loss of identity as well, besides just the horrible tragedy and that betrayal. I'm getting that feeling too from the world tree. We'll talk about that in a moment. But ultimately, I think too, there's a call here to go on an inward journey here. And sometimes crows and ravens can be seen as guides through that journey. It could be a little bit like a dark journey of the soul for you. And it could be that you're being led through this experience to reach better results. That's what I'm seeing, to reach a better life. And with the wheel here, there are 3 herons in the background, and they make me think of the three fates, the 3 weavers of our fate. But with this card, it can speak to a need to take control in our own lives, to acknowledge that the fates may play a role in our lives, but ultimately we are the weavers of our own destiny, of our own reality and truth. So I think there's a need here to take control after what has happened, and to weave the threads of your own fate and decide your own direction. I think there's also a need, going back to this world tree, to go on an inward journey of the mind, of your emotions, of yourself. And with the Page of Stones here, it speaks to observing carefully, making choices wisely, and just being very observant of your environment, and making careful plans and decisions. I think that could be just indicating that need to be cautious in your approach forward, especially if it was a romantic relationship. Sometimes there's a temptation to leap into a new relationship to kind of numb the pain of what we went through. So this could be indicating that there just needs to be slow caution used for incorporating new people into your life. So for your journey ahead, I would definitely keep that in mind. But with the world tree here, it shows a maze that is like a very common symbol throughout history. And so too is the world tree. It makes me think of, because this card represents our own consciousness and our own minds, I feel like there's a need to explore the maze of your mind. And I'm connecting that again with the loss of identity, that maybe this is an opportunity to find yourself and understand yourself. Because maybe you've lost your identity through this situation, and maybe this is an opportunity to be able to explore your own mind and understand yourself better. So yeah, ultimately I just feel like there's a need to go on kind of a spiritual journey, spiritual, emotional, mental journey through your own mind, discovering yourself and healing the trauma that's happened. So we've already touched on the Three of Swords being about betrayal, heavy, heavy betrayal. The Judgment card makes me think that judgment has been passed on this situation, but it also could connect to this Wheel card, and it could just be indicating that there is some level of fate at work here. But you can also see from the people on this card that there seems to be an element of relief about this judgment. So it could be that you're feeling a sense of relief. Maybe if it was like a cheating situation, you might not have known at first, and maybe you finally discovered the truth, and maybe there's an element of relief that you finally know what you've been suspecting. But it's possible it goes a lot deeper than that as well. But ultimately there does seem to be an element of relief here, and there could be an element of fate working with this. The King of Pentacles here makes me think that is a blessing you could see after you've gone through this whole journey and been able to transmute this pain into something good and been able to heal from that sorrow. I feel like you could come into a place of abundance and stability. And with these cards too, I feel like there might be a need to surround yourself with some level of community. Just be cautious on who you choose to add to that community. This card says, strange journeys. Take control of your quest. Choose your companions wisely. So I feel like that really goes back to that Wheel card on taking control of your life, weaving the threads of your fate, but it also speaks to that need for companionship and making sure that you're choosing the people you have in your circle wisely. And this card speaks to that as well. The Spirit Familiar. Seek loving connections and cherish friendships. So yeah, I think there's just a need to seek those loving, healthy connections. It can make getting through difficult moments in our life a lot easier if we have people around us that love us and support us. And so yeah, this is your spread, pile 2. I hope you got something good out of it. If you made it through to the end of your reading, you might leave me a broken heart emoji. I think that would be fitting for your pile. And if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I try to do videos like this fairly regularly, and I would love to see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Right, pile 3. Well, there is definitely some heavy energy here. I'm noticing some repeat cards from one of my more recent videos. It's Revelations from the Allfather, so if you haven't watched that video, you might check that out. I think there could be some important messages in there for you. Well, I'll start with this Knight of Vessels. I feel like this card represents you. It speaks of a person that is very deeply emotional, intuitive. It definitely gives me empath vibes. So you might be someone that experiences emotions and intuition more deeply than others. And that might have some connection to this difficulty you're facing. But I'll jump up to this Devil card. This indicates some hardship. It indicates potentially addiction. But more than anything, it indicates a feeling of being bound to some sort of pain and something that just isn't benefiting you in your life. And I would say it probably has relation with this, all of this energy here. Lots of, it's pretty heavy. So we'll start off with the Five of Stones, endurance. You can see that there's a small child here in a cave that has a lot of cracks and looks like really it could collapse at any moment. And there's a huge streak of lightning in the background. The child looks quite frightened. I feel like you're going through a very difficult time. Maybe you're feeling a lot of fear, and maybe it has something to do with this. Maybe you're just in a bad situation that you feel helpless in. That's kind of the people being chained here. It makes me think of being in a situation where you feel helpless to change it. But I feel like this card is just calling you to have that endurance. I think it's just letting you know that you do have the endurance within you to get through whatever is happening right now. And with the Four of Stones protection, you can see a fawn under a megalith there. And the sun is just rising. It's quite different from this card. I feel like it is a reminder that storms always pass. The night fades into day as the sun comes up, and I think that's something that's good to keep in mind when we're going through trials in our life, that it won't always be that way. Eventually things will change, the sun will rise again, and we won't be feeling this pain or fear forever. But I think it also could be an indication that maybe you need to try to find some sort of space where you feel safe and protected in to get through whatever this trial is that you're going through at the moment. With the Seven of Stones, healing too, I think this could be something that you need to focus on, is trying to go within and find that inner healing within you. And I'm connecting it to this Three of Stones, creativity. I feel like it's hinting at an ability you have to, a creative ability you have, and the ability to heal yourself. I feel like it's just, it's so similar to this card. In this card, this green woman is healing this fallen warrior. In this one, it feels like she's healing herself, maybe. She has her hands resting on these stones, and on this one there's an oryx, and on this one a wild horse. And you can see she has roots growing into the ground. It feels like tapping into your power and your strength. And the roots might be indicating a need to ground yourself and root yourself into nature. So that could be really helpful for you, maybe getting out into nature, maybe doing a meditation where you imagine roots growing out of you and into the earth, and imagining absorbing strength and power and realizing your strength and power from that, and focusing on the healing energy of the earth coming up through the roots and healing your emotional wounds. Either way, I definitely feel like this is a time where you need to focus on healing and trying to keep yourself safe and protected, and just try to endure whatever's going on. And this card, this is one of your advice cards. It's Owl Song. Whisper secrets to the moonlight. Find strength in stillness. And to me, that just reminds me of like speaking to a god when you're going through a really difficult time. That can sometimes be really beneficial and bring you so much inner strength, just feeling like you've been heard. So that could be something that could benefit you through this time, is just whispering your secrets to the moonlight or to a god and feeling that understanding and feeling like you're being heard and just bearing your soul. Sometimes that can be really helpful, especially if you don't feel like you can do that with someone you know. But I feel like from these 3 cards here, that if you're able to make it through, if you're able to endure this difficult period and go through this healing and try to realize your own strength, I feel like you'll be able to break free of whatever this is and be really fulfilled and have wholeness in your life and have that emotional happiness. The 10 of Cups speaks to that, the emotional fulfillment and happiness, almost like pure bliss. And I'm connecting it to this card too because of the lightning. You know, a rainbow comes after every rainstorm. I feel like if you're able to just endure this, I feel like you'll see amazing benefits and beautiful things coming to you in your life. In the Sentinel here, it says, new opportunities shall manifest in unexpected ways. So I feel like that could speak to this, that once you've gone through this, once you've healed from all this, that new opportunities will come your way and great beauty will come into your life. That's been your spread, Pile 3. I hope you gained something good out of it. If you do feel like you gained something good out of it, you might leave the deer emoji in the comment section down below, and might give this video a like, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. And I hope all turns out well for you. Bye-bye.